Yeah. Used to be a psychology teacher as well.
Teacher by trade. Yeah.
So for those of people that are watching that may not know too much about you or what you do currently and what you've done, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I was teaching psychology for many years, like both in London, then I moved to Dubai to teach psychology, and then during COVID, I just kind of picked up a few kind of courses on coaching, like more relationship coaching, and I never really did anything with it. And it was only about a year ago that my mum was saying to me, Sadia, I think you should do more than just teaching. You really need to like start talking online and doing something a bit bigger. And I never took it seriously, but then she came out to Dubai and she bought like a tripod and she's like, just do something, like do something. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do a video and I'll just see how it goes. I mean, I was a bit anxious about it, but I just put a few videos out on Instagram, and then praise be to God, it just kind of became something. And now that's kind of what I do, is what I do full time.
Yeah, that's amazing. So when you say you were like a psychology teacher, I'm just intrigued. Did you do psychology teaching at school?
In schools, high schools and everything. Yeah, I have students that are probably watching this right now, and they'll probably comment and be like, she was my teacher. Yeah, in London.
So why relationship psychology now?
Do you know what happened? I didn't actually mean to go so into relationships, but naturally all my friends would call me every time they have relationship problems, and I would just be like, oh, that's because and just give them my like little 2 pence.
Yeah.
And they were like, you should do something with this, because I didn't realize that that's why I'm being jealous, or that's why I'm being anxious. And I'm like, oh, you didn't know that? And they're like, why would I know that? And I started to realize that not everybody realizes why they act that way, especially in relationships. So I kind of focused a little bit more on relationships when I was going online. And I also realized that that's what the audience wants. Those are the videos that get the most views. Those are videos that get the most reposts and saves. So it made me realize that people are quite hungry to learn how to be better in relationships.
I think that's such a good point. Like, people want to know about that stuff. And I think when it's coming from someone who's an expert in their field, like, it's not just coming from, obviously friends and family advice is always great, but you know, when it's coming from like an expert, let's say, it's so much better.
It's a bit more fair. They think, okay, so they think it's a bit more fair. So no, it is definitely, people want to do better, because having a bad relationship actually affects every area of your life. If you're not good in your relationships, you'll find that your work and your family lives, everything becomes a bit difficult. But when your relationships are going well, everything in life feels a bit easier. So it's the area that people want to do the best in, but they don't know how.
So, okay, so social media, you obviously, you know, started posting your videos on social media. They've kind of gone viral. You've ended up on big pages like Shade Borough, for example.
Big up Shade Borough.
Yeah, so they've gone viral. So how did that come about? Like, what was your first video that went viral? And how did that social media thing kind of come about?
I was really lucky. I was on 200 followers or something. I just started about a week or two ago, and then Officially Urban picked me up and they said, can you do a video on this, tell us your views on feminism. So I was like, okay, I'm not really a feminist though. And they said, okay, don't worry, just do whatever you think. So I did that, and that went quite big. And then everybody in Dubai and London was saying to me, you need to get on Made You Think. You need to get on Made You Think. And I was like, what's Made? I didn't know anything about social media. I didn't know much about it. And I was like, what's Made You Think? And they're like, that's my favorite page. You have to be on Made You Think. And I was like, I'm never going to get on Made You Think. It's a big page. And then randomly, I think me and Limelight were talking about it, and they started following me while I was on the phone to Limelight. And I was like, Made You Think just started following me. And I was like, that's so crazy. And he goes, oh, they know. He goes, now post better content because they're watching you. And I was like, oh, I don't really think they'll like what I'm talking about. But then I posted a video on why women cheat. And you know, Made You Think's audience, it's all about men bashing women and stuff. So they he quickly posted that, and from there Made You Think started posting a few more videos. And I actually owe a lot to him. I don't think he realizes, but it actually did help kind of stabilize my position in social media, because Made You Think for some reason has a lot of, I shouldn't say for some reason, for very valid reasons, it has a really respectable kind of reputation. Everybody knows Made You Think, everyone respects it. So from that, it kind of just went a bit bigger, and I'm very grateful for that.
No, I love that. So what was your most viral video? Was it?
I think I did something on Gold Diggers. That was kind of the one that went the most viral, because I just, you know what it is, what happens on social media is people adopt other people's views. So if they hear Andrew Tate or so-and-so talking about women like money, they're like, yeah, all women are gold diggers. And you'll hear every guy saying all women are gold diggers, but I don't think these men attract gold diggers. You have to be qualified to attract a gold digger. And I was trying to say that broke men don't need to worry about gold diggers. We're not coming for you. They're not coming for you. We gold diggers will leave you alone. Don't worry about it. And so that kind of went viral. But what I notice is whenever you're being divisive and you're turning men against women in some kind of way, that's what goes viral, which is bad. I don't think that's a good thing. But unfortunately, whenever you're being a bit controversial or you're saying something about men versus women, for some reason,
people seem to love it.
They love it. Yeah.
So you mentioned that like you're not really a feminist. And like, to be fair, that's like, you know, that's normal to not be a feminist, but a lot of females might have an opinion on that and be like, no, you should be like standing up females a little bit more. Do you ever get those type of comments
all the time? But I've never understood why, because I don't feel oppressed in any way, shape or form. I feel like I've got so many privileges from being a woman. I feel like I can, you know, sometimes if I need help when I'm carrying bags, I get help. If I, you know, if I was to do, like, if I need to call the police for something, they're a bit softer with me than they would be with a man. I feel like I can sometimes walk past a bunch of guys and I don't feel like I'll get robbed. I might get wolf whistles, but I don't feel like I feel like I get a lot of privileges from being a woman. And also in my personal experience, I found working with women really difficult. And everyone always told me, oh, you know, feminism and you don't get paid as much as men and it's so unfair. But in my personal life, I felt like I wasn't getting paid as much because I had other women that I worked with that made my life really difficult and didn't want me to progress. So for me personally, I felt like women were preventing my progress. And the male bosses I always had were so supportive. So I was like, why am I being told that men are the enemy? Like, I don't feel that way. So I started just kind of started questioning the role of feminism a lot. And when I first started doing it, it was quite rare. So I got so much hate. I remember my first video that was anti-feminist, some big feminist page reposted it and said, this is her LinkedIn, this is her school. Everybody send their emails and tell them to fire her. And that person it was some podcast woman, I can't remember her name, but I'm coming for you and I find you, but she reposted it and about 200-300 people emailed my school and said she's anti-feminism, she spreads hate. So I had to have a conversation with my boss at the time. So it got real. But you know, now because of the rise of Andrew Tate and podcasts and stuff, now people have more freedom to whether they want to or not be a feminist. But when I first did it, it was quite rare. So
but I think it's quite a nice way you look at it, because when you mentioned, you know, like you feel, you know, privileged.
Very privileged.
I think it's so nice. That's a really nice.
I love being a woman. Oh my God, I get away with murder. I get away with absolute murder. Like, especially I live in Dubai, so you know, I never have to queue for anything. I never have to pay for anything. Like, you know, there's so many things that is such a privilege for being a woman, purely because I'm a woman, that I don't see why I would ever play the victim. I think it's really difficult being a man of color than it would be of being just a woman. I think there's other issues in life that are far more pressing than being a woman. Being a woman for me is my superpower. I feel like I am the most powerful being because I'm a woman, because little things like I will do something and I'll be like, don't worry, I'll just talk to the manager and I'll get it for free. And it's because I'm a woman I do that. And so I feel so empowered by being a woman. I don't feel at all a victim or oppressed. Praise be to God, I don't feel it.
Well, that's just inspiring me.
Is it? Come on. I love that. I love being a woman. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I think a lot of people, now that you've said it, I think a lot of people, I guess, will try almost play victim in certain situations.
But it's little things like, I know if my car breaks down, I don't have to do anything. I'll just stand outside. Somebody will stop and help me. Somebody will stop me. If I'm getting off the plane and I'm struggling with my bags, I'm not even struggling, but somebody will help me. But if I was a man, I wouldn't have those privileges. And I really feel it with authority. When it comes to police or managers and this, that, or when you go into bars and, you know, everybody else, like barmen, you know, treat men quite badly. We walk straight past them. We don't even have to say our name. We walk in and we sit down, and it's because I'm a woman. So I feel really empowered by it.
So not being a feminist, what's your opinion on Andrew Tate?
It's a difficult one, because I wouldn't say I'm a feminist, but I'm also not an Andrew Tate kind of person either. I'm not this red pill where we hate women or this.